The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, remains unrelenting in its onslaught against drug traffickers and barons in Nigeria. As part of the war against drugs, the NDLEA has confiscated 20 billion naira lurched in 130 bank accounts belonging to Lagos socialite and businessman Malisin Ukatu. The agency has also filed 23-count charge against the socialite, who is being held in Ikoyi Custodial Center, Lagos, and its 6 companies for drug dealing. Jide, this is massive. You know, as poverty is ravaging the country, but the rich are getting richer. I imagine this man amassing 20 billion naira lodged in 130 bank accounts. You can't spend that. You can't finish that in your lifetime. 20 billion naira. What will you be doing?
And the kind of deals, the kind of deals that they do, the kind of deals that they do, mean that you can spend this in just a matter of days. You know, one big deal begets another. These guys live like they have 2-3 lifetimes, whereas every individual is entitled to one lifetime. You know, he was arrested by the NDLEA over a tramadol deal worth 3 billion naira. And you know, they've been going after these people involved in illegal and illicit drug trafficking. So they've also seized a good number of his properties. So they are on interim forfeiture now, 25 of them in choice areas in Lagos. 25 of those expensive
Don't forget,
mansions.
some of these companies, their companies are seen to be legitimate. They register their names and everything. You don't know that it was just a front.
Yes. But I'm happy for one thing. The NDLEA appears to have to have a very firm grip on the activities of these guys, and they are nailing
getting the intel
the
right.
drugs, the cocaine, that largest haul ever,
Yes,
was said to have brought into our country through the waterways. No, people are wondering how could they have brought something this big. It came in through the waterways, but NDLEA got actionable intel, and they pursued it, which led them to such a massive
bust.
haul. So these guys are being caught by the day. When I was reading what the NDLEA chairman was telling the National Assembly the other day, that they are going after our operatives and killing them in anger. It is because of the breakthroughs that the NDLEA continues to make against these guys.
There will definitely be a kind of backlash.
They've never,
because of that, the bust.
They've never been exposed consistently the way they are being exposed now. So they are now embarking on vengeful attacks on NDLEA operatives and all that. And then NDLEA chairman is saying now is the time for government to build barracks for NDLEA staff so that they and their families can stay there. A situation in which they don't have barracks of their own, they are staying, they live wherever they can find houses. Any of those operatives could be easily tracked down and killed. And these are people that they offer them billions, they turn it down. I don't know what Marwa gave them. In fact, when the motivation to work is extraordinary, they offer people billions. They turn it down and still arrest you.
In the same Nigeria.
In the same country where some people assume that everybody is corrupt. You know, the corrupt among us believe that everyone is like them. But in this NDLEA, they offer people billions of naira, and they will say, no, you have infringed on our law, arrested. You know, when you catch a big man, he thinks that, is it me that they have caught in this manner? And he starts thinking, so are you saying my money cannot rescue me from this? The first thing it does is to throw that money at you. But some of these guys will stand firm and say, no, offer me everything in the world. I'm an officer of the law. I would rather arrest you.
And that person can even afford to go and get the best senior advocate of Nigeria.
The best
to
and
go to court so that, we don't have, if you see the NDLEA, the punishment is still not, it's just like a slap in the wrist. So what we're looking at now, 20 billion naira lodged in 103 accounts.
Money laundering, which is a fundamental aspect of illicit drug trafficking, is very rampant in our country. And remember the lady from Anambra, the one that died.
Jennifer?
No, the boss, the one going after the drug people, the former minister during.
Okay.
The lady that died. Aquili.
Okay.
Once told us that the system itself is more efficient than the Nigerian state. That it takes more than one person with the ability to do this. So what Marwa is doing basically is giving his boys the backbone to go after these big shots. Because you have to remember, all over the world, there was a time Nigeria was just a transit point. Now we are major consumers of some of these drugs. In fact, in some states, especially for tramadol and all those drugs at that level. Before, we are just a transit country where they bring it in and pass it onward to Malaysia and all the Far Eastern countries. But now Nigeria has emerged as a major user, especially of tramadol and this cannabis at that level. And so it takes more than one boss like this to really solve the problem. But I commend the NDLEA guys because it is not easy. These people have the money to buy the entire police force.
Buy their freedom.
The entire police force, they have the money. So it takes one man to say no. Because remember we said on this program before, unless and until we start questioning how people got their money, we will not be able to get rid of things like this.
When you want to look at it too, when you see the atmosphere where this thing is peddled and you want to look at the Western world, you want to look at Nigeria, now you can say, look, the rate of consumption is getting higher and higher.
Yes.
It's getting higher.
Musicians
I used to watch it in Western films before, people consuming cocaine, cannabis.
Musicians are singing now, they are singing about cannabis and the rest of them, as if it's been legalized. They should be arresting those musicians. They should be arresting them. How can you be singing, I want to go and share you, I want to go and share you? What's the meaning of that? That's what Burna Boy was singing, that he wants to go and share you. And the way that particular song is trending across the world, I don't think he has ever done any song as famous as that. Last. I want to go and share you. I want to go and share you. What is that? If you said you want shayo, we know that it is alcohol. But Igbo has not been legalized in our country. You are using it to sing. You are using it to sing.
There's fire on the mountain, Judy.
Honestly. And for cannabis, unlike others, these other drugs, we don't produce them. We only consume them. Cannabis is grown here. It's grown here in our country.
My state is number one.
Yes.
In those states, headquarters.
Yes.
We'll be making money.
And two big individuals from your state have been even pushing for it to be legalized.
To be legalized.
And that,
let's make it official.
And that is good for
medicinal.
It's medicinal and all that. And NDLEA say, no, we have not even legalized it, and is this rampant? I use courier services. They go and deliver it to people. They use it to make, to bake
cookies.
This thing for people, bake cake for people.
Okay.
And
yes,
if you don't know, yes.
Yes, if you want to make order now. Okay, this picture, my producer is saying this is Ondo State now.
Yes,
the last
the biggest growers of cannabis.
This is their headquarters. Sorry, no pun intended over there.
I don't understand. Even in Wizkid in his song,
okay,
Soko, 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 baby, he was also glorifying cannabis. You know, it's now the trend. Why won't young people who want to be like those artists also feel like tasting?
Yeah.
Whatever is making them.
And forget to, it's not peculiar to male alone.
Huh?
Male folks.
Female
Naira Marley even thinks, Naira Marley looks like the biggest ambassador of cannabis in our country. He can barely open his mouth without talking about cannabis. That's Naira Marley. You know? He proudly even show that they are consumers.
But I see Portable too in his videos most of the time.
No, let's not even talk about that one. That is not.
My producer is saying Naira Marley calls himself Igbo Labi.
You see? So this is, don't even bring Portable into it. We are talking about Grammy Award-winning artist of Nigeria.
Okay.
Today, Burna Boy was singing in South Africa. 90,000 people were singing that song. That's last. They were singing it after him in a place called Gauteng. And what was he singing? That he wants Igbo and Shayo. You know, these are people who fill arenas.
Honestly.
He filled Burna Boy filled Madison Square Garden. He is the first to do that from this part of the world. He filled the Madison Square Garden, sold out, and is glorifying consumption of illicit drugs. I mean, these are people. The NDLEA has to find a way to reach these small boys.
To partner with role models, so-called.
Yes, because they are damaging lives without knowing it. He can hardly sing. He can hardly sing without talking about this thing. And you know, even the regulator will say, "Don't play that music because it's talking about this thing, illicit drugs." I know that.
If NBC, if they are saying don't play it, now internet, so YouTube, it's everywhere.
Ballon d'Or.
You cannot.
Ballon d'Or. That song. Go and listen to it. Naira Marley, Burna Boy is also glorifying cannabis.
That's the title Ballon d'Or. I don't even know that.
Ballon d'Or. You don't know that song. You must have heard it. You know?